excited. Our next speaker is a part of, she's here representing Verizon Small Business, why can't I think what I'm trying to say? Digit Ready, thank you. And so I'm going to introduce her. Sharon Lee-Thony is an award-winning brand and marketing executive with over 20 years of experience driving growth for global brands in travel, beauty, and style. She's kind of a big deal. She is the founder of and CEO of SLT Consulting, a boutique digital marketing agency that was acquired by Fiverr, in 2020, with clients including Peloton, Warby Parker, Sweet Green, and Facebook. She's the author of The Marketing Playbook. Sharon is also a founding advisor for the Whisper Group, an angel investor, and a frequent keynote speaker and educator in digital marketing. So let's please welcome Sharon. We're so excited that she's here.
Thank you, Catherine. I'm super excited to be here with you today, and let's see if this works. Perfect. So, as Catherine mentioned, I'm very much like you guys. I started my business in 2018 after working in marketing for quite a while before that. I think it was like close to 20 years at that point. I started when I was 2, I guess. Don't tell anybody. And to be honest, after working for different companies, working in different capacities, being a mom of 2 at that time already, teaching on the side, having consulting clients on the side, trying to figure out my life and my personal life and all that stuff, I was like, I am so sick of working for other people. I am ready to be my own boss. And I'm sure so many of you guys feel the same way, right? And that's why we're sitting in this room today. What I didn't realize is that by building a business and by running it well and by making it scalable, that a larger company, a public one, would look at my business and say, you've built something pretty amazing. We want that. Will you sell it to us? And I was like, what? Sell you what? And I was like, at the time the agency was myself and about 12 other freelancers who are all friends of mine from different companies that I had worked with over the years. We were profitable, thankfully. And I was like, Fiverr doesn't realize I'm paying my friends through PayPal and Venmo. I'm like, they really think that I have a real agency here. But the good thing is we got through that transaction process, the due diligence. Turns out I really did build a business, even though I didn't realize I was building a bona fide business. And it's been 5 years since the acquisition. SLT Consulting is a wholly owned subsidiary of Fiverr Inc. We celebrated our 5 years after the acquisition this year. I continue to be the CEO, but I also do a lot of other things, as Catherine mentioned. So I'm an advisor, I'm an angel investor. My passion is to help you all in this room to make your businesses as big and as amazing as you want them to be, for you to grow them, if you want to hand them down to your kids and your future generations, great. If you want to exit and retire on an island, buy a private jet, amazing. If you want to do anything else in the world, you can. And so I'm here to kind of be a testament to that, but I'm also here to talk to you today about digital marketing and AI. So that's a little bit about me. You already heard my bio. I'm available to chat after. I have some business cards and happy to talk about all that. But for today's session, we're going to talk about AI for your business. And I also happen to be an instructor on the Verizon Digital Ready platform. How many of you guys are already familiar with this platform? Show of hands. Okay, just a couple of you. So if you're not already registered, please take out your phone. The QR code here will drive you right to the platform. The platform is a completely free resource for small businesses. I promise you that Verizon will not sell your information. They will not try to get you to switch to Fios. They will not try to get you to switch your phone plan at all. Everything on that platform is free, and it's developed by other small business founders and leaders like myself. Verizon's goal is to support 1 million small businesses by 2030 with these free resources. Right now, they're giving out a grant. They do this like 4 times a year, but they're actually in their grant cycle now. If you take 2 courses on the platform before, I want to say December 1st, you can be eligible to apply for a $10,000 grant for your small business. There are financial services on there, there are coaches on there, there are weekly webinars, everything from marketing to finances to other things. So that's my plug for that. We're here for that reason. But please check it out, sign up. There's a lot of great stuff. And what I'm about to take you through today is an example of that. So I created this course for them, and it's all about how you can leverage AI for your business. So show of hands, how many of you guys are already using AI? Yay! Oh my gosh! You can teach me something. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of a poll. How many people are using AI to generate content? So things like ChatGPT for writing and Canva for graphics, perfect. How many people are using AI for automated workflows? Okay, beautiful. How many people are using AI for data analysis? A couple of you, perfect. How many people are using AI for strategies, business strategies? How many of you, here's a version 2.0 question, how many of you guys have trained your GPTs to function as your leadership teams? Ooh, some of you, right? So let me give you a quick little aside. I did one of these workshops about a month ago in Boston, and I met a woman who runs a catering company. She's great at cooking. She loves catering events. She never intended, she's kind of like me, to actually for this to become a bigger business. And she said, you know, Sharon, I know nothing about finance. I know very little about marketing. So she trained ChatGPT to be different roles for her. She's got a CMO GPT that she goes to for advice, who comes up with marketing strategies, figures out what her social media content should be, and how she should update her website. She trained a different GPT within ChatGPT to be her financial officer. She uploads all of her finances, her invoices, her expenses, and it helps her to create a P&L every month. She trained a different one to be her chief operations person to help her with client inventory management, ordering supplies and other things. She spends most of her time literally in the kitchen, right, cooking and figuring out recipes, and she's able to leverage AI to run the rest of her business. So that's another way that you can really start to think about AI to help you scale and grow your businesses. I'm pretty impressed that so many of you guys are already using it. AI stands for artificial intelligence, and it basically is just any technology that enables you to, that stimulates human intelligence to help you to solve problems. And AI in many ways is better than us at things that we're not good at. I hate spreadsheets. I'm not good at numbers. Every month I've got to report out to our parent company of how much we're earning, how things are looking. It freaks me out. Now I have ChatGPT to help me with it. It's amazing, right? So a lot of what we do at SLTC is marketing. That's all of what we do, actually. And this is many ways that AI is being leveraged in marketing. So brainstorming and ideation sounds like, based on the hands, most of you guys are using it for that already, right? You give it a couple ideas, you ask it for feedback, it kind of plays that back to you. Content creation and editing, we already talked about, right? Writing, images, video, project management. How many of you guys are using AI to help manage your projects? A couple of you, okay, yeah. It's great for that because you can automate steps in your process. It can help you to maintain, to stay on deadline and timelines, and able to then help you to become more efficient. By the way, I have a code at the end where you can download the slides, so don't worry too much about, I see a lot of notes. We can just chat right now, we're just chatting. Other ways that you can use AI in business is to improve your customer experiences. So I'll give you a couple of examples in a little bit of how we've helped clients to set up chatbots. It's a great way to maintain a great customer experience, automating workflows, which we just talked about, and then capturing business insights, right? So my example of hating spreadsheets and numbers and all of that's great. I just kind of upload all of our data. Every quarter, I check in with my GPT that I've programmed for this, and we kind of do a business planning session. It's very weird, right? Me and the computer typing back and forth, arguing. I'm arguing with myself and the computer, basically. But it helps me to see things in the numbers that I'm a marketer by trade. I'm not a numbers person. So being able to upload all that and actually ask the technology to help me find the opportunities has been really helpful as well. Okay, so customer experiences. Chatbots are an easy way that you can leverage AI to do your work on your behalf. So many of us are probably solopreneurs. We're doing everything on our own. We don't have time to answer questions in our inboxes for emails. You're probably getting DMs on Instagram, right? You're getting messages through carrier pigeon. Like, who has time for any of this? So setting up a chatbot where your most frequently asked questions are automatically answered is a really easy way that you can get back to the customer immediately, and where you can even use that to then pre-qualify people depending on what you're selling. So let's say you're a business coach and you know that you typically serve clients that are of a certain profile. And maybe you know that you don't want to charge less than some amount of money per month. You've got your own criteria, right, for how you vet your potential clients. Set up your chatbot to do that for you. Now you don't have to waste like 50 hours of your time talking to, Ross Nash. That's actually someone that I know. But anyway, who only has $5 to pay you for your time. Like, you just don't have time for all that stuff. So one way that we've set it up for one of our clients, they're a dress manufacturer. You may have seen them in Macy's or David's Bridal. They're called Betsy and Adam. They sell special occasion dresses. One of the most difficult things about shopping online is that you can't see or feel or touch things. And one of the most tricky things to sell online is a dress for a special occasion. Because as all of us know in this room, the way a dress fits is everything, right? I chose this dress, yes, because I like the pleats, but even more because I like the way that it fit my exact body. When you see a picture online, that gorgeous model, who's a size 2 and 5'11", doesn't really look like, she doesn't look like me anyway. So having a chatbot set up really helped our client to be able to answer those questions about fit, about size, but it also helped them to have touch points in other pieces of the life cycle. So the client itself, they're a big brand, they've been around for 50 years or so, they do distribute nationally in all these retailers. The marketing team in-house is 2 people. 2 people, and it's a multi-million-dollar business. And so they get questions like, hey, my daughter's getting married on Saturday, and it's going to be, or maybe not Saturday, but she's getting married in a couple months, and it's going to be in Phoenix, and I'm interested in such and such dress. Will this, is that the right material for a 95-degree, 110-degree outside wedding, right? Like, that's a very specific question. So we help them to program for certain things like that, about materials, about fit, about occasion. And then we also hooked it up. We used an AI platform called Gorgeous, which hooks into Shopify. Shopify was the website that they built their website on. And it also then plugged into any emails they were getting. It also helped to sync up the customer's profiles across touch points. So if a customer DM'd them, so let's say she saw something on Instagram and said, I really like that navy blue dress, and that navy blue velvet dress, that same question would be attached to a customer's profile on the back end. And then we would be able to see all of the touch points, and then even be able to then push out maybe a promotional email featuring that exact same navy blue velvet dress that she liked. So we were able to hook it up in different ways, and the bot itself became a salesperson for them because it started to cross-sell other types of styles that she might be interested in, right? So that's one example. Another example, this is specific for our agency. As you heard, we were acquired by Fiverr, so some of our services are sold on Fiverr. We're a Fiverr seller. That's another plug for you guys. If you're a service provider and you're providing professional services, could be graphic design, could be business coaching, could be website building, could be financial, or even legal services, listing yourself as a seller on Fiverr is a great way to get new clients, because people are going to Fiverr to hire freelancers or consultants to help them do jobs, right? Fiverr's platform has an AI bot built into it. And this is relatively new. This was launched about a year ago. And so we programmed that AI assistant to help answer questions in the inbox, because we get a lot of questions from, again, Russ Nashes, sorry Russ, but like all the Russ Nashes, right, that have a ton of questions who will never convert. So much of our time was being spent vetting out all of these unqualified leads. So we trained the bot on, again, most asked questions. We also uploaded all of our services to the bot so that they knew how to sell it. And here's what's interesting. I'm not gonna read all of it, but basically this is a screenshot that I took because I was so delighted by what was happening. A potential client messaged us about our social media content gig. The bot answered the question of how much it costs, how many posts were involved, things like that, and then it asked the client, would this serve your needs? And the client said, it would. I'm looking to build a feed that's very much in the same vibe as Timothy Chalamet. And I was like, where is this conversation gonna go? We didn't train the bot about Timothée Chalamet. We didn't tell it that he's dating Kylie Jenner. We didn't, we didn't say that he was the star of Dune or Willy Wonka or anything. What is this, like, how is this bot, this machine piece going to respond? And the bot wrote, absolutely. What does it actually say? Absolutely. Aiming for a vibe like Timothée Chalamet means tapping into a stylish, artistic, and authentic aesthetic. We curate visually engaging content that feels dynamic and on trend while keeping it personal.
That's awesome.
Isn't that awesome? I was like, this bot has got a job forever at SLT Consulting. So with that, and so this is what machine learning is about, right? This is what's happening. So the bot is learning about the types of questions that it's being asked. The potential buyers are kind of prompting it to say, hey, I'm looking for something that looks like X. The bot basically just went to the internet, searched for Timothée Chalamet's Instagram feed, found it, noticed that he made posts that were aesthetically pleasing in these ways, and just repeated that back to the buyer, right? And also knew, truthfully, that we can create content like that. So it's not that the bot was lying. It was just, it was matching up a request and an answer, knowing that we had that service. So after implementing that, we've had quicker response times, because the bot never sleeps. It works 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. It gets back to people immediately. We've had an increase in conversion rates for people to book with us. And we actually had a human virtual assistant that was doing this before, and now we've been able to reallocate her time to other tasks. So it's been a wonderful addition for us. So Facebook has this same exact feature. Many of our social media platforms have a chatbot feature. I would say play with it, train it. They'll learn about Timothée Chalamet and all the other things. And you'll have literally an assistant working for you. So how do you set this up? One is just determine what your objectives are, right? What's the goal of this communication that you're trying to put in place? Select a provider. Different websites typically have different types of software that they can sync up with. So the same way that for our Shopify client, we found Gorgeous as the chatbot solution. If you have a Wix website, that might be something different. A Squarespace website might have something different. So look into that. Design the flow of the conversation and the dialogue. Really think about what types of questions do you get, and then what types of answers would you give back. Test it, refine it, deploy it, and watch it, because sometimes they make things up. Actually, many times they do, so you definitely have to keep an eye on it. I often say it's kind of like having an intern. They mean well, but you gotta keep an eye on them. All right, so automation. Sounds like many of you guys are already using automation. AI automation is super helpful, especially when you are a tiny, tiny business, and especially if you're doing everything on your own. So there's a ton of different providers for a ton of different reasons. I'm just gonna kind of like meld things around a little bit. So inventory management, right? There's a lot of different kind of AI-powered platforms for that. But ways that you can really think about how you use this is, on the basic level, an inventory management platform can reorder inventory for you when you get to a certain supply level, right? So many of us that are selling actual goods, you probably have some repeatable process where when you get down to like 10% of the t-shirts that you have in stock, you will reorder, usually from the same vendor, usually the same quantity, and usually for the same amounts. Would you guys agree with that? Yeah. Now and so that's like standard. Okay, cool. You can deploy an AI to do that, and that'll take a couple hours off of your hands. If you actually thought about what else can I get this to do, if you know that you sell 100 t-shirts per month on average, and you get halfway through the month, and you've only sold 2, it's just like a bad month, right? For some reason, people aren't buying t-shirts. What happens? We start to panic. We're like, oh my gosh, 2 weeks have gone by, and I've only made 2 sales, and I'm supposed to have made about 50 sales by that point. You as a human would usually go in and do something about it, right? Maybe we cry first a little bit, we get a little nervous, we call our friends, we we do what we have to do. But typically we're like, okay, what do I do now? You usually run a sale, maybe, right? You might figure out how to create an offer. You might find a way to push out that inventory. Now imagine if the technology could just do that. If you set it up to say, On average, I want to sell 25 t-shirts per week so I can get to my 100. If I pace behind that, if we do not sell 25 t-shirts by the end of the week, please automatically apply a 10% discount across the board on my website. Please also deploy an email to all of our most frequently purchased customers that we're having a flash sale. And please drive that sense of urgency by only making this discount available for 2 days. You're gonna sell those 25 t-shirts, ladies. In fact, you might sell 100 in a week if that happened, right? So really start to think about what are the things that you're doing that actually are really the same kinds of things, and have the software do it for you. Another one that's been helpful too, we use a different system now, but this was back in the day before we were purchased. I used to use Wave as my invoicing tool. It's a great tool. It's free, and Wave will create automatic recurring invoices every month, which saved me a ton of time because every month we were charging our clients the same amount of money, and I didn't have to manually do it. Even better, it would 5 minutes. Oh my gosh! It would remind the clients when they hadn't paid yet. Incredible. And they would save their payment information to actually auto-charge them that same amount as contracted. So all in that, I had my finance person, my collections vendor, my everything, right? All in one system. So a ton of things like that too. All right, so here's an example of a workflow. How do you actually build it? You've got to think about, you guys probably remember this from like some logic, or operations class if you ever took one, but basically it's a typical workflow where you think about what's the action that triggers the thing that I want to happen, and then what are the decision points? And typically there's like a yes or no answer. So depending on what's needed, you would kind of branch off the different fields of that workflow and have the automation then proceed and run without you. Other things, because we are running shorter on time, this is an important one. We prompted Adobe Midjourney to come up with headshots. And we prompted it with, create a headshot for a 35-year-old female project manager, studio lighting, zoom 50%. And so it came up with this picture. This very lovely project manager. She does everything on time. She gets along well with everyone because she has to make sure that everything's moving right on schedule. And then we said, okay, great. Now turn this into a copywriter. Create an image of a copywriter with the same kind of zoom lighting and all that. Copywriter is a little more moody and emo looking, right? Darker makeup, wearing a black shirt. And then we said, great, now create a graphic designer for this team. Graphic designer's got purple hair, she's a little wild, she's more creative. And we put these 3 pictures up. And what's interesting is, in these 3 pictures, there's bias. There's a belief system and values implicit in how these images were generated. And I bring this up to you because there's nothing harmful in these photos, right? No one intended to be somewhat stereotypical in how they created these images, but it's important to review what AI creates for you as the business owner because it's a reflection of your values and your belief system. And it will communicate something to your audiences when they see that. And so we've all, I think these are great, right? We all laughed because we can recognize, yes, of course the graphic designer has purple hair. That makes total sense, right? But we have to just double check that against, is this really what we believe, and is this okay? Is this going to be okay if a graphic designer, him or herself, saw this? Would that be an acceptable way to represent that? I'm saying a lot without saying a lot, but I think I know you can tell what I'm talking about. All right, here's some examples of how we've been able to leverage AI image generation in our little shop. We work with a healthcare practice, and their photos were horrendous. It was like these really stodgy headshots. They were all wearing their, their doctor's coats. It was really boring. And it's a practice that wants to be really accessible and fun and easy to easy to join. And we're like, what are you guys talking about? So we took all of the headshots, we prompted the AI, we uploaded it into AI, and we said, create a group photo in the vein of ER. Not bad. George Clooney isn't in there, but you know, he could fit in. He could totally fit in. Another client of ours is a furniture company. They had a lot of images of just the furniture pieces against like a seamless white background. It's what we call catalog shots, right? These pieces of furniture are upwards of $10,000 depending on what you're buying. So they're expensive pieces of furniture. It's custom furniture. I have a minute. Okay. So we uploaded the photo. We gave it some prompts about the kind of lifestyle, the kind of situation that the furniture would be in, and generated that, which really helped with their website content and other things. So AI is a really great way that you can then stretch your small budgets to be able to create more in the vein of what you need. All right, some key takeaways, or not takeaways yet, but another thing with AI, so this is actually a little plug for my book, the Marketing Campaign Playbook, but I use a platform called Lovable. If you guys haven't checked it out, I highly encourage it. Lovable is an AI platform. It's a no-code platform where you can prompt it with what you need and it'll build out websites and apps. So just with a couple prompts, literally in no more than 5 minutes, I created a landing page for my book. And if you go to bestmarketingbook.com, you'll see it. And it links out to Amazon and Apple and Audible and all the other places where you can get a copy of the book. And I didn't use any kind of code whatsoever. So when I say this, I'm putting businesses like mine out of business, but it's important to me as like a small business owner to also share these nuggets with you. So check out Lovable, it's really amazing, and you can use it to do any kind of web stuff. I've got some prompts in the slide deck. You will get a copy of them. The better the prompt, the better the output. And I can't emphasize that enough. So the more specific you are, the more valuable the output would be. All right, zooming ahead. Tools that we love, ethical considerations. So some next steps. If you want a copy of this, please scan. I'll leave this up for now. I am totally out of time. And so if you want to chat with me directly, I'd be happy to even just talk to you about your business, help you out in any way. I'll be around for a little bit. I do have to catch a flight in a little bit, so I won't be around forever, but I'll be around. I have my business card here. If you request a copy of the deck, we'll have your information on the other side too. And so you'll be on our email list, and you can always reach out that way. I think this was just a QR code from my book. And then just some pictures of me and my team. If you wanted to chat with us, we'd be happy to support you in your marketing journey. And I think
all right, let's give Sharon a round of applause, everyone.
Thank you so much.